Okay, so today I want to talk about the rise of AI in the music industry, the benefits of it, the negatives of it, and just my overall thoughts on it, and try to have a nuanced conversation because I think that there's a lot to talk about here. First off, starting up with some AI covers that I actually really went up for. So this song, I Hate It Here, was originally done by Taylor Swift, and they did an AI version of it for Olivia Rodrigo. I listened to this like 4 or 5 times every single day, and they got it pretty close to her voice actually, and I just really like how it sounds, and so this has definitely been something that I'm playing on repeat. Next up is this AI that they had of Justin Timberlake's song for Mariah Carey, Selfish. And Mariah Carey is my favorite artist of all time. And so what I really liked about this one is it's really close to how she would actually sound and like the ad-libs and stuff that she would do. And so a lot of the times with these Mariah Carey AIs, it's just like it'll sound like her for like 2 seconds and then it goes completely off the deep end. And there's just so many nuances and textures and stuff like that on her voice that I feel like she's really hard to replicate with AI specifically. But I really enjoyed this. Now on to the downsides of it, because I think there's more downsides than upsides in this conversation. And so I read this: Timbaland wants to create a posthumous Notorious Big album using AI despite the serious ethical concerns about the technology. And so I literally saw him previewing this too, and he was like, oh, I never got to work with him when he was alive, and now I got to work with him. You worked with the computer. That is not the same thing. And so that's where a problem comes in with this AI, because you're getting artists to essentially, say things that they didn't say. You're recreating their likeness, and it can be problematic because it's just like some people are going to think that this is real and stuff like that, and I think that it is kind of hurting the public perception of an artist and stuff. And especially when you have never worked with the artist, I would still be looking at you weird if you work with the artist and then you're using AI, but at least like you worked with them. But someone that you've never worked with isn't physically there to even give their blessing and stuff like that. I just think that this was weird for Timbaland to do. So I think that that is like the big problem with AI. There were some people who even tried to nominate this Drake and The Weeknd AI for Grammy Awards, and the committee had to be like, no, that is actually not legitimate. And why would you think that something that's not even real should be considered over everything else that is real for a Grammy? That doesn't make any sense to me. Drake had a song, and I'm pretty sure this is whenever he was dissing Kendrick Lamar. He used these AI Tupac vocals, and then he had to take it down because of that. And I'm pretty sure Snoop Dogg was on the same song as well, or a different song. And the Snoop Dogg thing I really don't get, because Snoop Dogg is literally alive, so if you wanted him to be on the song, then you could have just asked him to be on the song. And then the Tupac thing is just really shameful, because I doubt that that's something that Tupac would sign anyways. And so this entire situation is just weak to me, because Drake is a coward. He really is. You couldn't even diss Kendrick by yourself, so you decided to get AI versions of Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Who told you that that was a good idea? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this is rap. Like, it's supposed to be, no holds barred, and you're supposed to really go in, and you couldn't even feel confident enough in yourself to do that. You had to get AI versions of other people to be on the song with you. And he eventually had to take it down, but yeah, it's shameful. I hate Drake. He's a coward, and it's just so stupid to me. It really is. And Cher basically said it's scary because she heard this AI that they did of her singing a Madonna song, so there is that, because you're using an artist like image and likeness and stuff like that, and trying to emulate them for stuff that they didn't say or do. I think it's one thing for pop music and everything, like the Olivia Rodrigo thing with the Taylor Swift song. I think that that's one thing. It's probably different once it goes into rap music and stuff like that Notorious B.I.G. sample and also the Tupac sample. I think that those are like two different things as well, and so there's just more in terms of the conversation when it comes to rap music and stuff. And so basically, I just think that there's a lot negative with AI. And for me, I think that there's some AI I can listen to and I'm like, oh, this is really good. I can appreciate it for what it is. And like, then I keep it pushing, because ultimately I know it's not real. I've accepted it, and I genuinely like these artists for what they do outside of it. And it's not something that I'm really looking for. It's just something that comes up and I'm like, oh, this sounds good, So I think that if you can listen to it and just move on about your day, then that's one thing. But it's another thing whenever it's like they're trying to nominate it for awards and you're trying to monetize off of it. Like, it's one thing as a producer if you're working with the artist, they pass away, and you're like, okay, I need to finish this. And so you find a way to finish it. Not using AI, of course. I'm just talking about production and like having some other ways to finish it. But for it to be someone that you never worked with, and then you're trying to create an entire album off that and monetize off of that, I do think that that is a problem. So yeah, basically, I can listen to some stuff, know it's fake, like it, and move on. But there is a gray area with it. And I think the second that we start trying to, monetize it, give it awards and stuff like that, and we keep trying to push it forward and all that, then it gets bad. I think that with the music, it kind of just needs to stop where it is at now, because it's getting concerning. Like, who knows what they're going to do next and stuff for artists, and the problematic things that they could, have the AI say, and some people aren't going to be able to differentiate that it's fake. So I think that there is a lot of problems with AI in the music industry and just in general. And so it'll be really interesting to see how society progresses, how technology progresses, and all those things. But I think that we need to have some safeguards in place, and especially making people aware of things that are AI, because some stuff it is kind of hard to tell. And so I think that there's problematic things in there. Not to even mention deepfakes, which is a separate issue, and I think that that's extremely problematic, and I just feel for everybody who's been affected by that situation. So it's a large conversation, but overall I think it's bad for the music industry, even though if we get, a few good little snippets here and there of a song. And let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I would really love to know your foresight on this entire situation, and, let's have a detailed conversation. And that's why I like making these videos, is I can ask everybody, like, different perspectives and stuff like that. And yeah, just imagine how these artists feel. Like, that's one thing that I keep going back to, because I make these videos. So imagine if someone did that to me and it's something I didn't say. Like, I would be panicked. So yeah, lots to think about.